human beings, I'm Lily, nice to meet you, hope you're having a majestic day. A few months ago I got back from a solo trip around Asia. I went to Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Laos, Myanmar, Nepal and Japan, and my god, it was the best experience of my life. Having loads of conversation with friends and family since I've been back, and they've said, what was the best part? Where was your favourite place to go? And I'm like, oh my god, where do I fucking start? This is just a cup of coffee conversation. We're not gonna be able to get this all in. I've come to terms with the fact that Japan was the best place I went, simply because it's so different from home. For me, Tokyo was the weirdest, the most interesting, the most fascinating, the most character building in so many ways. So the whole time I was on my own, I didn't have a Japanese SIM card, so I was phoneless essentially. I had no plans. I'm not one of those people that kind of turns up in a location thinking, I need to visit these places and I'm going to do it. I just kind of like to go with the flow, as wanky as that sounds, it's true. So today I'm going to share with you my 6 favourite things about Tokyo. Some of these things are little things that you may not expect, because I'm a fan of noticing the small differences. It's the kind of things that maybe Japanese people would find so normal, but for me are so like, what the fuck? Like, that's what I find so fascinating really, you know, the day-to-day things rather than like the big tourist attractions. That brings me nicely onto my first thing that I love about Tokyo, and that is public transport. Yes, it's confusing, but it's very musical. It's so bizarre. I remember once walking through Shinjuku Station, which is a mission in itself. It's like a maze. There doesn't seem to be any exit signs, and now I'm just following humans. Like, none of the signage say exit. And listen to the music! So dramatic. Oh my god, there's more. So sensory overload. Honestly, so weird. I loved it. The second thing I loved about Tokyo, which I'm sure I could apply to the whole of Japan, is the Buddhist rituals. While in Asia, I visited a lot of different temples, and they were all so beautiful and so kind of different to what I have here in London. Bearing in mind, I would consider myself a humanist. They have these rituals, and I would love to learn more about this. You know, where you wash your hands, wash your mouth out, do this nice bowing and clapping and bell ringing. It just seems like such a nice ritual that can be very like kind of an opportunity for someone to reflect on what is going on in their lives, and I just think that's such a lovely thing to observe. I've never seen anything like that before at home. I was just standing there like, wow, this is so peaceful and lovely. Such a nice thing to experience, even if you have no religious belief. So number 3 is gaming. One of the main reasons I think you should go to Tokyo is for the gaming. Oh my god, oh my god. I'm a dweeb when it comes to gaming. Akihabara is the gaming district, so it's literally just like this huge road with arcade after arcade after arcade, and it is amazing. In Akihabara, I got to play a VR game for the first time. Look at this!
Your weapon.
Okay.
Your weapon.
Yes. Never had that opportunity before, and it was just so accessible in these arcades. It was in Sega World, I want to say, and the premise was you're walking around this kind of spaceship thing and you have to shoot aliens. And it was so terrifying, but so fun. There's one point where I'm holding my gun and I'm like looking around and I'm like, where's all the aliens to shoot? And I hear this little like rattle rattle. And I'm like, what's that? I can't cope. And I turn around and there's literally an alien right there. I had to keep anyway lifting up the goggles and kind of looking in reality and realizing this isn't the real world. You're fine, there isn't an alien. I also want to kind of mention the rhythm games. Japanese people are insane at these games. I'd watch them and be like, how do you have the capacity to move that fast? I had no idea what I was doing. And finally, I want to mention my favourite thing about the gaming aspect of Tokyo, which is a shop called Super Potato. It's down like this weird side road. You've just got this like door and you have to go up all these flights of stairs. If you're a gamer when you were a kid, this place for you will make you feel nostalgic, it will make you happy. Honestly, it was amazing. All the old consoles, all the old games, you can play some. It is so much fun in there. And the fact that it's called Super Potato, I find very charming. Number 4, I have to mention the fact that Tokyo is so photogenic. In particular, there is literally countless beautiful vanishing points. Vanishing point is when you kind of have a symmetrical photo that vanishes in the middle of it. Tokyo is full of them. Honestly, every road I turn, I'd be like, quickly, I need to take a picture. Oh my god, look at that one. Oh my god, look at that one. It's stunning. It's the most beautiful city I've ever been to. So karaoke is a really big thing in Tokyo. I was having this conversation with this Japanese business guy one evening, and he was saying how it's normal to, you know, have your business meeting, but the deal won't be kind of confirmed unless you do karaoke together. And I find that very fun. I love that. I did an incredible amount of karaoke in the space of a week in Tokyo. It was so much fun. It brings people together, it makes everyone happy. Number 6, and I guess this isn't really commenting on Tokyo itself or Japanese people. So about 95% of the people I met who were traveling in Japan were solo travelers. And this is something I didn't see a lot when I was in other parts of Asia. Most of the time people with friends or a partner or whatever. I thought that was really interesting actually. All these people were so nice. Everyone was kind of, I guess, in the same boat, that we're all in a place which is very weird, most likely very different from home in all aspects. So all the other people I met there were incredible. In case you're wondering, I stayed at Imano Hostel, which is right in the hub of Shinjuku. I really recommend it. So number 7, I definitely have to say, is how clean they are. Konnichiwa from Tokyo. I have never seen a place this clean in my life. I mean, look at the roads. There's literally nothing on them. This is impeccable. As a British person, I wasn't used to how far they took this, in particular in changing rooms. Number 8 is, I'm sure they have a name, I should have researched this before. It's the kind of the button restaurants, fast food, ramen places, things. Outside, the window would be full of fake food, so you can have a look at what you want. Sometimes they would have English and Japanese, which was quite handy, or other times it would just have Japanese, but then at least you could see what the food would look like. These are like pieces of art themselves, you know? They look beautiful, it looks delicious. Like, I'm actually salivating remembering this food would look like. You see it, okay, number 45, you go to the machine, you press number 45, and then you put your yen in, and then you get a ticket. And then you go up to a little counter, give that to a guy. Every time I went to these places, I was always the only non-Japanese person in there, which I found really interesting because for me it was cheap and convenient. You know, I could get a huge meal for the equivalent of £3 to £4. And everyone always talks about how expensive Japan is. If you want, I can do a video about how I afforded Japan, because I did it really cheap, to be honest. Aside from accommodation, I probably only spent like 20 quid a day, and I did loads. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I'd always be the only white girl in there. So the guy would shout out, you know, when the food's ready, and I'd be there like, I don't speak any Japanese. But they'd always be really friendly. You go up and get your tray with your food on it, sit down, free water, free like soy sauce and stuff like that. And it was great. And then all you do is have a little munch, enjoy your food, and then take the tray back. You don't have to worry about, oh, I don't know how to look at this menu, I don't know how to order, because most people don't speak English. This takes away all that awkwardness that you maybe get stressed about. I loved it, and I sometimes don't want to be fucking about with human interaction, you know? Especially when you're traveling solo, you do a lot of talking to people, and this gives you that opportunity to just not talk to people, which is really nice actually. So to end this long and lovely video about one of my favourite places in the world, I'm just gonna share with you this strange translation I found when walking around Tokyo. The truth of the development of occlusion peculiar to an individual. Kenmochi Dental Clinic. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching. Peace. Beautiful.